Have you ever wondered why some quilts look just gorgeous and others fall flat? It's not only about stitching and color, it's about finding the perfect pattern for your fabrics. Nochmal den letzten Satz. Now imagine, you love those large floral prints from Anna Maria Horner, for example. You wouldn't go with this pattern from Modern Handcraft, which is excellent but needs muted solids. Or you like, for example, cozy floral country prints. Well, of course you would go with a more traditional pattern, while if you go with fabrics from Zen Chic, which are modern in style, you would look for a modern quilt pattern here. Last week I already gave you a look over my shoulder, how I developed the Bluish fabric line. So this week I will show you 4 different quilt suggestions, what you can do with these fabrics to have a perfect pairing. Welcome to my sewing studio. Here is where all my quilts come to life. After designing them on the computer software, I go over here and then I can cut and pin and sew and have them on my design wall. I love this thing. So let's talk first about sewing and the technical aspects. Well, for this one you need 3 Charmpex, a white background and a little bit of an accentuating orange and green. And this quilt gives you the opportunity to learn half-square triangles, or at least to train them, because you have to do a lot of those. So it's also a kind of workflow where you always do the same step and you just can let run your thoughts wild when you are sewing this quilt. So you might like this quilt because it has something very unique. It's asymmetric and it's like if the half-square triangles would have been thrown over the surface. And you have the full corner of prints over there, and then it will become thinner and thinner and has this negative space underneath. And why is bluish perfect for this pattern? Because bluish has a kind of light to dark gradient. So you can put in the darks over here and then you can go to the mediums and to the lights, and this gives you a wonderful look which you can't achieve if you have a fabric line without this gradient in. So this is a beginner quilt, very easy to sew. The next quilt featuring my bluish fabrics is this Lotus Quilt over here. So what's unique with the Lotus Quilt is the block. It's a mix of a half-square triangle plus a curved seam like you would find in a truncate's pass, but this is just a little bit different. So this block I haven't seen very much often on the internet. It's quite unusual. And if you want to learn how to sew curves, or if you want to train your curved seam skills, this is ideal for you. We have also a class on curved seams, or I have a YouTube tutorial how I do the curved seams, so I will link that also for you. So as for the materials, you can go with a Fat 8 bundle to make this quilt pattern. Bluish itself doesn't offer a Fat 8 bundle, but you could go with the layer cake here, which provides you with a large variety of different prints. Now, you will see that you have always a dark half of the petal and a light one. For the darks, I used my bluish fabrics, and for the light ones, I have my low volume basics in. So when you buy the layer cake of bluish, which has already a lot of white fabrics, I would leave those out and get a little bit of bluish yardage in addition, so you have enough fabric to cut from. Also, I have used the spotted in this little checkerboard midpoint here. And also, I really love the quilting which Rachel Hauser from Stitch and Color did on that one, how she enhanced those petals with the curved quilting stitches. Isn't it just gorgeous? I know you're always looking for something unique in quilts, something which you haven't seen 100 times before. And this one over here meets this request in each case. It's called Dance With Me. It's my third pattern featuring the bluish fabrics. So this one is inspired by all vintage records or CDs, you could say, and that's why it's also very popular among young boys. So if you want to sew something for your grandson or your son, I think you will love it, especially in the blue tones. Also, you can do it with various collections. So what's the technique behind this quilt? I applicate those circles on. Some of them are pieced, and I used foundation paper piecing if the piecing was more complicated, like here. And because I don't have that much time for hand applique, I applicate mine with my sewing machine and an invisible thread. So it would take a long time to explain all these details. That's why we made already a video tutorial on the technique in our YouTube channel. So I link it below. And if you like to sit maybe just and have something hand stitching, applique is the thing to go for. I used a layer cake for this one and then enhance it with some accentuated colors like the green and the orange over here, and just used for the background my spotted in black so the background stays calm. And with the quilting, so circles have echo quilting around to make them pop up. And the border has a meander quilting, so this one is really cozy to cuddle under. Speaking of uniqueness, this one, the globe, is a unique quilt in each case. It has a huge fan group already on Instagram, #GlobeQuilt. And I was inspired by a ball or by the globe itself, and I created this circle here. It's a little bit more for the advanced quilter for sure. So I thought I should give you a class explaining everything in detail. The foundation paper piecing, also the planning of which fabric should go where, which is a real deal for a lot of quilters. And then we have the Y seam over here, but don't fear, in the class I explain everything step by step. For this one, when I used the Bluish Collection, I had the advantage of a collection with a certain gradient from light to dark, so I could make it a little bit 3D with this highlight and this shadow over there. It's also easy to kit because you need just a layer cake and a solid background. So whatever collection you want to go with, be inspired by Instagram and pick your own color choices. I hope you will become a fan of the Globe Quilt too and join us in the class. My job as a quilt designer is to provide you with quilt patterns which make for a successful quilt in each case. So I can't wait to see what you are making out of those patterns, and please post them on social media with the hashtag Zen Chic Quilts. You will find all those patterns in our shop, linked below. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, it helps us a lot. So until next week again, bye!